You may please be seated. May I request members of the press to please decongest the front edge of the hall. The special guest of honor, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Senate President, Federal Republic, ably represented today by Major General S. Maina, retired, Honorable Speaker, House of Representatives, who is also ably represented by Honorable Yakubu Umar Badi, the executive governors of the host states, Katsina State and Niger State, distinguished and honorable ministers here present, all the members of the National Assembly, the representative of His Royal Highness, the Emir of Zauzau, heads of government agencies and senior government officials, the Chief of Defense Staff, service chiefs present and represented.
You are on to the Nigerian Television Authority, coming to you live from the Nigerian Air Force Base, Kaduna. It is a celebration of the country's first indigenous unmanned aerial vehicle, designed and constructed by the Nigerian Air Force Research and Development Center, Kaduna. Talking about the Tsaigumi Unmanned aerial vehicle. I'm Srali Musa. With me to roll on the commentary is Benny Adams.
Thank you very much, Shirley. It is indeed a moment of celebration, celebrating a breakthrough in indigenous technology, and to be specific, talking about indigenous avionics, having one of our own technology to use in our own home soil.
Buhari has, among other policy directives, advocated increased local content and harnessing of indigenous intellectual resources for national development. In keeping with this directive and in line with the key driver of strategic partnership with ministries, departments, and agencies for enhanced research and development of the Chief of the Air Staff's vision, there have been unprecedented research and development activities in the Nigerian Air Force. The increased attention to research and development has culminated in the development of the Tsaigumi Unmanned aerial vehicle and the Nigerian Air Force surveillance aircraft known as the NAVSA Eagle, amongst so many others. May I highlight that the unmanned aerial vehicle technology is at the leading edge of aerospace technology. Hence, what has been achieved by the production of the Tsaigumi UAV is worthy of acknowledgement. This effort has the potential to be a game changer in the security architecture of military operations and other aspects of national security. It is therefore safe to say that today's occasion is yet another milestone in the history of the Nigerian Air Force as it manifests prudent management of resources to achieve lofty goals. On behalf of the organizing committee for today's event, I warmly welcome you all to the 431 Engineering Group hangar here in Kaduna, the venue of the event. I shall now invite the Director of Aerospace Research, Air Force Research and Development Center, Group Captain O.C. Ubadike, to give a brief on the Tsaigumi Unmanned aerial vehicle. The directors. a special guest of honor, sir, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to give you a brief on the Tsaigumi Unmanned Aerial Vehicle, the journey so far. The Tsaigumi Unmanned Aerial Vehicle, UAV for short, is an operational UAV that has its ancestry in an earlier prototype called Gurma. The development of the Gurma Unmanned Aerial Vehicle began about 5 years ago when a team of Nigerian Air Force aerospace engineers were tasked to develop an indigenous unmanned aerial vehicle for internal security and civilian operations in Nigeria. The design of the unmanned aerial vehicle followed several processes which were performed by Nigerian Air Force aerospace engineers. The design phase was followed by a prototype manufacturing phase where all airframe parts, including the wings, fuselage, control surfaces, and landing gears, were manufactured here in Kaduna. As a prototype platform, the Gurma flew in excess of 300 hours, during which performance data were collected. In August 2015, the present Nigerian Air Force administration, under the leadership of Air Marshal S.B. Abubakar, gave a directive to operationalize the Gurma Unmanned Aerial Vehicle. The operational UAV was named Tsaigumi. Nigerian Air Force aerospace engineers therefore used the data obtained during the flight testing of the Gurma to operationalize the design. However, due to lack of certain manufacturing facilities and equipment, the Nigerian Air Force collaborated with UAVision of Portugal for some aspects of the Tsaigumi UAV, such as mode manufacturing, avionics systems, and telemetry equipment. The Tsaigumi UAV is capable of day and night operations with an operational endurance in excess of 10 hours, a mission radius of 100 kilometers. The maximum takeoff weight is 80 kilograms. The unmanned aerial vehicle is suitable for intelligence and surveillance operations in land and sea domains. It has other uses such as policing operations, disaster management, maritime patrol, pipeline and power line monitoring, mapping, and border patrol duties. Others are forestry and wildlife, as well as weather forecasts. In the maritime domain, the unmanned aerial vehicle could be used for oil spill detection and tracking, offshore infrastructure monitoring, and other duties as shown on the screen. The unmanned aerial vehicle could also be used in the patrol of Nigeria's exclusive economic zone. To ensure that 100% of the unmanned vehicle components is manufactured in Nigeria, the Nigerian Air Force has started procuring a lot of sophisticated equipment, such as placement.
and a service ceiling of 15,000 feet and operational endurance of 10 hours. The performance parameters and operational characteristics will make this platform a critical component of Nigerian Air Force ISR architecture. Consequently, the UAV will be mass produced since we have the molds here in our base here in Kaduna and will be deployed in several theaters of operation across the country. May I invite the private sector at this stage to partner with us to see how we can mass produce this and establish a factory where this can be mass produced and people employed. Your Excellencies, sir, ladies and gentlemen, as gratifying as the accomplishment might appear, it is for the Nigerian Air Force just a stepping stone to greater heights. Having achieved enhanced ISR capability, the next step in our indigenous UAV development program will be the development of Ichoku, Nigeria's first indigenously developed unmanned combat aerial vehicle. Accordingly, while I commend our able researchers at the Air Force Research and Development Center, I have charged them not to relent, but to intensify their efforts to make sure that Nigerian Air Force UAV capability is moved to the next level. Finally, I wish to use this opportunity, Your Excellency, on behalf of officers, airmen, airwomen, and civilian staff of the Nigerian Air Force to express a profound appreciation to His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, for the enormous support we have continued to enjoy from the federal government. Your Excellency, sir, we are deeply grateful for your support for the Nigerian Air Force and indeed the entire armed forces in our quest to develop the capacities and capabilities needed to provide security and safety for our people. I also want to thank you, Your Excellency, for the leadership and the enabling environment you have provided for us, not only to discharge our primary responsibility of protecting Nigeria's territorial integrity, but also giving us an enabling environment to take a step further in research and development activities. I wish to restate emphatically our unalloyed loyalty to Mr. President and reassure the entire nation that the Nigerian Air Force remains fully committed to the successful execution of our assigned roles in the ongoing war on insurgency, whilst ensuring full compliance with all extant laws and global best practices. We will continue to do our utmost best to meet our statutory responsibility of defending the territorial integrity of a united Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless you, sir.
That was the welcome address by the Chief of the Air Staff. Your Excellency, Mr. President, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, next on the program is a short video clip on an exercise codenamed Heart Strike. Accordingly, I will invite Group Captain I. Subi, the Commandant Regiment Training Center, and Group Captain O.C. Ubadike, the Director Aerospace Research, to take us through exercise Heart Strike.
Your Excellency, as part of the induction ceremony of the Tsaigumi Unmanned aerial vehicle, we conducted an exercise codenamed Heart Strike using the unmanned aerial vehicle. Disasters can occur in the air, on land, and sea, resulting in life-threatening situations. The effects, therefore, need to be mitigated, and where there are survivors, they need to be found and rescued. Exercise Hard Strike is a rescue operation of a downed pilot that was captured by insurgents. The exercise involved a coordinated application of intelligence management using the Tsaigumi Unmanned Aerial Vehicle and the Armed Forces Special Forces applying counter-insurgency techniques, procedures, and special considerations in combat search and rescue operations. The exercise involved isolating the suspected building where the captured pilot was kept, suppressing hostile fire from the insurgents, advancing the assault element from the former point to the objective area, clearing adjacent buildings, assaulting the suspected building where the hostage was held, consolidating on the successes, and reorganizing the ground combat forces for tactical withdrawal after rescuing the pilot to a pickup zone for helicopter extraction. Exercise Hard Strike demonstrated the capability of the Tsaigumi Unmanned Aerial Vehicle to transmit real-time intelligence that brings clarity to an uncertain situation, especially in a complex air-ground environment operations, enabling the commander to integrate the war-fighting functions and direct the activities of the combat forces to achieve results and accomplish missions. Your Excellency, we will now play a pre-recorded video of the exercise. The exercise will have been conducted live today, but for time constraints. The video is only an abridged version of the full exercise.
Your Excellency, sir, at about 1000 hours on 13th of February 2018, the UAV group was tasked to conduct surveillance on Farauta village, 100 kilometers north of Korat Air Force Base. In conducting this operation, the UAV group deployed the Tsaigumi Unmanned Aerial Vehicle because of its long endurance and ability to loiter undetected. Before the UAV departs for the operation, the technicians will go around the UAV to ensure that the systems of the UAV are indeed ready for such a mission. Having confirmed that the UAV is ready, the engine of the UAV is started and taxied on the runway to the takeoff point. The external pilot takes off the UAV after a short run of about 60 meters. This implies that the UAV could take off from any road that has a distance of about 100 meters. Once the UAV is airborne, the internal pilot takes over the control of the UAV using the ground control station, where commands will be given to the UAV and data from the UAV will be relayed back to the ground control station. When the UAV is going to the mission area, the UAV scouts around for targets of opportunity. Once the UAV establishes at the mission area, the UAV continues to loiter overhead persistently, looking for movement of insurgents. In this particular mission, the UAV was airborne for about 1.5 hours before it noticed the arrival of the insurgents on a convoy of motorcycle and Hilux vehicles. It might interest Your Excellency to know that at this point the UAV is operating at 5,000 feet beyond the sight and hearing of anybody in the village. As you could see from the video clip, the insurgents are rejoicing because of the capture of the downed pilot, and intelligence indicates that they intend to use the pilot as a bargaining chip when negotiating with the federal government. Having identified the arrival of the insurgents in the village, the commander of the special forces were promptly informed, who further requested to know the exact building where the downed pilot is kept. The UAV continued hovering around the area until the insurgents stopped at a walled building north of the village where they kept the downed pilot. This information was also relayed to with the special forces, which helped them in planning their operation. Furthermore, sir, the UAV was also able to tell the special forces that there were sentries positioned in the village keeping guard.
Your Excellency, with the directive to conduct a combat search and rescue operations, the special forces were tasked organized into 3 groups. The sniper element, the assault team comprising of 2 rifle squads, and the support element on reserve for any counter-attack. So as you can see, the snipers are moving in from the eastern axis of the village to take up positions of advantage from where they will take out the insurgents, providing security to the village. So here again, the assault elements now are advancing towards the village in 5 formations. They are in 2 flights, Assault Team A and Assault Team B, conducting right and left flanking to the village. At this point, the snipers are preparing to take out the insurgents that were on sentry, which will assist. That's the position of the insurgents that will be taken down. Taking down, eliminating the insurgents that were armed, provides an opportunity for the assault elements to safely negotiate their way to the village. Assault Team B left flanking, while Team A is right flanking. At this moment, the sniper team is also continuously giving suppressive and discriminatory fire in support of the assault elements. The troops are now in the village, the assault teams are now in the village. They are clearing house by house to ensure that there are no threats left in any of the buildings in the village. Having cleared all the buildings, they are now moving into the main objective where the hostage has been held. The operation to rescue the pilot was a very swift operation. They successfully neutralized the threat elements in the main objective and prepared to reorganize themselves for tactical withdrawal to the pickup zone for helicopter extraction. So as we can see, the advanced point defense elements have reorganized themselves to form an arrowhead formation to enable them clear the path from the village to the helicopter pickup zone, while the main body with the rescue pilots are also reorganizing themselves in preparation to advance to the pickup zone. The main body adopting diamond head formation, which will provide them 360-degree protection as they advance to the pickup zone with the rescue pilot. Now, as you can see, at this moment, having rescued the pilot, the commander of the special forces communicated to the UAV mission commander and the helicopter crew that will stand by to conduct the pickup. The main body with the pilots are now moving towards the extraction point where they will be picked up by the helicopter on standby. At this point, Your Excellency, sir, the Special Forces have detonated smoke grenades to signify the end and the successful completion of the mission, and also to inform the helicopter that the troops are ready for extraction.
Your Excellency, sir, having successfully completed the mission, the UAV returned back to Kura Base and is preparing to land, as we can see on the screen. The UAV landed successfully at 1600 hours on the same day under the control of the external pilot who ensured that the touchdown of the UAV was very smooth. Your Excellency, sir, that's the end of SSR strike. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, sir, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, that was the video clip showing the capabilities of the Tsaigumi Unmanned aerial vehicle. Once again, may I request for a resounding round of applause for the Nigerian Air Force for this noble achievement. It is indeed notable that this is happening in Nigeria, and we are grateful. The next item on the program is the address by our host governor, the executive governor of Kaduna State. May I now humbly and most respectfully invite His Excellency Malam Nasir El Rufai to please deliver his remarks. Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, Your Excellencies, the representatives of the Senate President and the Speaker of the House, Honorable Ministers, the Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of the Air Staff, Chief of Naval Staff, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to observe all protocols. Your Excellency, Mr. President, my job is really very simple. I've been asked to come here to invite you to make your remarks and induct this technological feat of the Nigerian Air Force. But before I do so, Mr. President, I would like to use the opportunity to welcome you back home to Kaduna. I will not mention the fact that this is the 12th time, because I don't want to make other governors jealous, but you visited Kaduna 12 times since you became president. And we are very grateful, Mr. President, for that. I want to use the opportunity to register our gratitude to Mr. President as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and to the Nigerian Armed Forces for their contributions to our state. Kaduna enjoys being the center of military installations in Nigeria. We have the largest concentration of military installations in the country, and we're very proud of that, and we're very grateful to God for that. The Nigerian Armed Forces, Mr. President, from the Nigerian Army to the Navy and the Air Force, are present in Kaduna in significant ways. And there is no officer or man or woman of the Nigerian Armed Forces that would not have spent considerable time of his career in Kaduna. And for this reason, many of them, like you, Mr. President, retire back to Kaduna, and we welcome all of them back home. The presence of the Nigerian Armed Forces has contributed significantly to Kaduna's economy, Mr. President. They earn a lot of money. They spend a lot of it in Kaduna, making Kaduna one of the fastest growing economies in the country. We are grateful. But our biggest gratitude to the Nigerian Armed Forces, particularly the Nigerian Army, followed by the Air Force and the Navy, is their contribution to the internal security of our state. Your Excellency, upon your election and ours, we faced significant internal security challenges in the state. First, it was cattle rustling, then kidnapping, and other forms of rural banditry, as well as armed robbery and so on and so forth. I want to say here, Mr. President, that with your support and the deployment of the Nigerian Armed Forces working very closely with the Nigerian Police and the State Security Service, we've been able to defeat to a large extent these criminals. We still have some kidnapping, we still have a bit of cattle rustling, but it is nowhere near what we inherited. And for this we are very, very grateful to you for deploying these security assets for our use, and to the armed forces for giving their all to make Kaduna safer for everyone. We do not blame the federal government for security challenges, Mr. President. We do not outsource our problems, but we work with the security agencies to ensure the safety and security of our citizens. And we are grateful to Mr. President for enabling that. Your Excellency, today is a wonderful day for us in Kaduna, knowing that these UAVs will be manufactured here. As a matter of fact, because of the security challenges we faced in Kaduna State, we spent hundreds of millions of naira, Mr. President, to purchase UAVs for use by our internal security outfit, Operation Yaki, of course operated by the Nigerian Air Force component of Operation Yaki. These UAVs are in the country and they will be handed over to the Nigerian Air Force to use in making our state more secure. But I want to promise here, Mr. President, that the Kaduna State government will be the first state government to place orders for the Tsaigumi as soon as production starts. There is no need for us to spend our money, convert into US dollars to import these drones now that they're being manufactured here in Nigeria and indeed in Kaduna. So Chief of the Air Staff, I want to promise you, we will be the first to place orders as soon as production starts. This is a major technological feat, Mr. President, and I want to congratulate the Nigerian Air Force under the able leadership of the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, for his strong leadership. On this note, let me respectfully invite our leader, our mentor. Your Excellency, I've been directed by people in uniform to hand over to them to invite their Commander-in-Chief. Thank you very much, sir.
May I request another rousing round of applause for His Excellency for his kind remarks. The next, may I please request Your Excellency to please take your seat for a while as I give a little guidance on the proceedings, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, for want of time, Mr. President will give his address in a short while, and thereafter the team of engineers who designed the Tsaigumi unmanned aerial vehicle will file out for a handshake with Mr. President. Thereafter, Mr. President will perform the induction by cutting the tape, followed by two group photographs. The first photograph will involve Mr. President, the representative of the Senate President, representative of the Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ministers here present, the governors here present, Honorable Ministers, the Chief of Defense Staff, and the Chief Host. The second photograph will involve the Guest of Honor, the Chief of the Air Staff, and the Chief of Standards and Evaluation. May I therefore crave the indulgence of the guests highlighted above to please stand by to accompany His Excellency at the appropriate time for the unveiling and the rest of proceedings. May I now most respectfully request the Chief of the Air Staff to kindly invite Mr. President for his the induction.
Please sit down. Your Excellency, the Governor of Kaduna State, and the representative of his colleagues from adjacent states, the representative of chairman or president of the Senate, and the leader of the House, the Honorable Minister of Defense and Minister of Science and Technology, and Minister of Youth and Sports, the Service Chief, members of Kaduna State Executive Council, senior officers serving and retired, top government officials, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to be here with you for the induction of the Nigerian Air Force Unmanned Aerial Vehicle, Tsaigumi, Nigeria's first indigenously developed unmanned aerial vehicle. The significance of this accomplishment as a milestone of national technological development cannot be overestimated. In this regard, I must commend the efforts of the current leadership of the Nigerian Air Force, notably the Chief of Air Staff, who is performing his assignments wonderfully well. As you are aware, the world is witnessing an ever-increasing surge in the employment of unmanned aerial vehicles in military operations. This is because while standard air weapons such as missiles, fighters, and bombers work against well-defined targets like conventional enemy forces or installations, they are not as useful in today's complex wars that are fought against adversaries who are often hidden amongst innocent populations or in locations similarly sensitive or difficult to strike by normal conventional means. Unmanned aerial vehicles can loiter and maintain an unblinking stare in court over a chosen area for hours. Thanks to this ability to watch and wait in court, its operator, often miles away, can provide a continuous stream of vital information on enemy activities, and if platform is weaponized, it patiently chooses the best moment to engage. Thus, the employment of unmanned aerial vehicle capabilities for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, and, where possible, strike operations significantly increases the chances of success while minimizing unwanted collateral damage. Government remains determined, despite numerous challenges, to bring about the much-needed change that will lift our beloved nation to its rightful place as a major economic and political force on the world stage. Part of our drive to achieve this goal is to enable enterprise and the improvement of quality of life through massive improvement of national infrastructure. Accordingly, as I outlined in my New Year Day broadcast to the nation, this administration has designed a series of key projects to dramatically overhaul national infrastructure and overcome the deficit in that vital area. The role of the military as an enabler of national development cannot be overemphasized, as efforts would be futile if national security is not first guaranteed. In this regard, let me once more commend the gallant men and women of the Nigerian Armed Forces and other security agencies for their tireless efforts toward defeating Boko Haram and all other threats to our nation's security, thus ensuring that the government can proceed with its developmental activity without hindrance. Let me again commend the Nigerian Air Force leadership for the unprecedented feat it has attained on research and development. I am aware that the Air Force was overall best in the recently concluded 2017 National Technology and Innovation Exposition under Research Institute category. Accordingly, its drive, determination, and unwavering support brought about numerous significant innovations, not least of which is the Tsaigumi, which I am inducting today. It is indeed most gratifying that the Nigerian Air Force has gone a step further than simply acquiring them to developing unmanned aerial vehicle capabilities with indigenous technology. This outstanding accomplishment, which we are gathered to appreciate today, holds promise of both military and economic benefit to the nation. From the military perspective, the added capacity for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance provided by the Tsaigumi will boost ongoing and future security operations. As this project moves into the next stage, which is mass production, it will create employment and possibly generate revenue as Nigeria's first military export product. The attainment of this technological feat is an indication that there is indeed potential to similarly apply the same innovative mindset to addressing other areas of indigenous technological need. While I commend the Nigerian Air Force for this accomplishment, I enjoin you not rest on this achievement, but strive harder in your research and development efforts for greater innovation. Be rest assured of this administration's support towards the attainment of greater technological milestones for our nation. Distinguished guests, in closing my remarks, let me again reiterate our commitment and firm resolve to take this nation to next level. We remain determined to overcome all challenges to our security and development as a nation. I enjoin all well-meaning Nigerians to join hands with us to make our collective dreams of greatness a reality. I thank you, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
By His Excellency, Mr. President, the handshake For the benefit of our
Well,
audience,
that was a presidential nod to research and development in Nigeria, which is to say the innovative mindset is going to be transferred or seeks to be transferred to other areas of research and development in a view to take this nation to the next level. Sirali, from Tsaigumi, what else should we expect?
Actually, Tsaigumi UAV is an operational UAV that has its ancestry in an earlier prototype called Gulma. UAV began about 5 years ago when a team of Nigerian Air Force aerospace engineers were tasked to develop an indigenous UAV for internal security and civilian operations in Nigeria.
as highlighted
The
earlier
design
in the course of proceeding.
of the
Thank you.
UAV
The first
followed
group photograph.
several processes which were performed by Nigerian Air Force aerospace engineers. The design phase was followed by prototype manufacturing phase where all airframe parts, including the wings, fuselage, control surfaces, and land gear, were manufactured here in Kaduna as a prototype platform.
The second
I
group
guess we are
photograph
into
will involve
good
the Chief of the Air Staff,
development.
the Chief of
It's a good
Standards and
step.
Evaluation, and the engineers.
Well,
with
it
His
also
Excellency, Mr.
interests us to know that the Tsaigumi project started in 2012 with the Amebo project. We had Amebo 1, Amebo 2, and developed to Amebo 3. And at that stage, it was actually a student project under the Air Force Institute of Technology here in Kaduna. It was a collaborative master's project with students of Cornfield University in the United Kingdom, where it was used as a technology demonstrator to see how much the students have learned in the production of the UAVs and how they work elsewhere in other parts of the world. But to advance this, it moved to the Gulma series. Well, let's get to hear from the horse's mouth.
Excellency, the same UAV is just like any other conventional aircraft, except for the pilot. And the function of the pilot is taking over the orders known as pilots, which receive command and fire the control station. The UAV weighs 80 kilograms and has a service ceiling of 15,000 feet. Excellency, the wingspan for the UAV is 5.16 meters, and the wing allows the UAV to have a smooth takeoff as well as cruise effectively while it is in flight. The UAV has a fuselage dimension of 1.2 meters. Excellency, the fuselage provides housing for some of our onboard communication as well as avionic equipment, the fuel tank, and engine which propels the UAV forward. Excellency, it is interesting to know that a fuel tank of 3 liters and using motor gasoline, the UAV will be able for about 10 hours covering the mission of 100 kilometers. For instance, we can use the base to start, undertake the mission for about 5-6 hours, and then
Mr. President is being taken to the ground control unit where the Tsaigumi UAV is being controlled. It is a control center that has the data. It collects the data from the Tsaigumi while it's on board any mission. There you have the control center, you get audio, you get visual, you get clarity. You can see Mr. President is watching intently, which is to say this technology is what's celebrating at this particular juncture. While the Amiibo projects progressed, it actually progressed from Amiibo 1, 2, 3 to the Gulma. Gulma was launched a few years ago, still a prototype. But today we have the Tsaigumi being inducted to be an operational version of the Gulma, and it is hoped that it will be deployed in not just the present theater of war in the country, but as we heard from Mr. President and also the Chief of Air Staff, we are going to be having mass production, and these UAVs will be deployed in not just handling security issues, but we also hear it will be deployed to handle issues of weather, issues of pipeline monitoring, aerial imaging. It will also help us have real-time situation on weather, more so that we have change in weather these days, and it also help in mapping. Certainly, what else does Tsaigumi promise?
The Tsaigumi UAV is actually a step in the right direction. In the bid to fight the insecurity situation in the country, it will also attract foreign intelligentsia to the country and also help instigate other form of initiatives to help fight crime and other prevailing insurgency in the country. The force has also done a lot in keeping the nation abreast of current trends around the world of technology. This also serves as challenge to the civilian community and encouragement to budding inventors. The pertinence of this new initiative cannot be overemphasized, Benny.
Materials were selected preferably to metal because of the better strength to weight ratio give us and fatigue resistance we obtain from them. Also, they have better resistance to corrosion. So, to manufacture the parts, these composite materials are placed inside the mold to take the various shapes of the mold. As you can see, this is the for the wheel of the wheel. So they are combined with these chemicals to manufacture the parts and allow to carry over other temperatures. So after the manufacture of the individual parts, so we move to the assembly of the product. So the typical parts when produced will look like this. After the individual parts are produced, they are bonded together to form the sub-assemblies of the parts. For example, the wing and the fuselage are assembled together separately. They are now brought together and assembled as one unified airframe, after which the systems, the avionics, the payload, as well as the engines are then installed on the plane.
This is hydraulic diaphragm of the Mi-35 helicopter. This diaphragm is used as pressure reservoir in the flight control system. Without this component, the aircraft cannot fly. Over some time, the Mi-35 helicopters were grounded due to some issues with this diaphragm. These issues are scarcity of the diaphragm from the manufacturer and also environmental factors. After 2 years of searching for this diaphragm, 6 were gotten from Ukraine. Each of the diaphragm cost about $17,000 US. In view of that, the Nigerian Air Force tasked the research center to come up with a solution to this problem. The research team started by producing the mold using a pure steel material in order to achieve the shape of the diagram and the specific characteristics of the diagram. Your Excellency, sir, this is the made in Nigeria hydraulic diagram for Mi helicopter series. This diaphragm has been in operation for more than 150 hours in the Northeast. Also to note that this diaphragm has already gotten global recognition. The Nigerian Air Force has already gotten the patent right of this diaphragm. Also, another great research achievement. The cost for production of this made in Nigeria diaphragm is about 100 US dollars compared to 17,000 US of original material. Yes, only $100. Actually, another great research by the center is Air Marshal S.B. Abubakar Aviation Power Park. This is being produced by the research team in appreciation to the Chief of the Air Staff for his support to research and development. This equipment is a multi-purpose system. It has the ground power unit for starting the aircraft on ground. It has frequency converter that converts the domestic frequency of 50 Hz to aircraft frequency of 400 Hz. This equipment also has inverters that convert the domestic power supply of 220 volt alternating current to 150 volt alternating current to 26 volt alternating current and also to 28 volt direct current for aircraft use and also for troubleshooting of electrical equipment in our workshops. The cost for production of this equipment is 850,000 naira against the original manufacturer with similar specifications that cost about 23 million naira. The motive behind this project is for self-reliance and cost reduction. Also, this equipment has added advantage. It utilizes both solar energy and also domestic power supply. This equipment can be deployed in any part of the country when the need arises. Thank you, sir.
Your Excellency, sir, I'm Squadron Leader Maxwell Sunday Ikara, Masters Exclusive Partners Engineering, sir. So this is an unmanned ground vehicle. So the unmanned ground vehicle is designed and developed through the effort of technology. And the motive behind this project was based on the incident that happened in 2012 where a police officer approaches a suspected improviser specific right. On the process, the explosive detonated and the police officer lost his life. We all know that we can reproduce in the shape of black and white. So with this, that is the reason of that
Well, at this point, Mr. President is being taken to other areas of research under the Nigerian Air Force Institute here in Kaduna. This Institute of Research and Development here in Kaduna is into aerospace research. They are also into armament research. They are also into medical research as well as supply and management research. There on display We have some unmanned aerial prototype, as well as in use bomb dictators. They also have unmanned cordon stop and check that can be used or that can be deployed in security situations. And we also have spare parts being locally produced to use to maintain some of these prototypes that are ongoing, that research is ongoing, as well as those that are going to be deployed any moment from now. Like we heard from the Chief of Air Staff, there is a move to collaborate with other experts to mass produce some of these products for deployment in our day-to-day life, particularly such advancement in research and development. Certainly, what more do we expect from Tsaigumi?
Besides its diverse military application, unmanned aerial vehicle provides mankind with a range of benefits in disaster management, power line surveys, law enforcement, telecommunication, weather monitoring, aerial imaging and mapping. It is also rapidly becoming an important tool in news coverage, environmental monitoring, and oil and gas exploration. Nigeria is capable of attaining higher pedestal in military aviation and defense-related technology. According to the Air Force Authority, the UAV will be employed in aerial surveillance to check activities of pipeline vandals and other related crimes. So you can see, Benny, we have a lot to benefit from this UAV.
We also have, we will fail to commend the group of technologies that have been able to realize this. We have amongst them Air Vice Marshal C.N. Uduegulu. We also have Air Vice Marshal P.O. Jemitola, as well as Group Captain A.A. Shinkafi. And the last on that team, we also have Group Captain O.C. Obadike. These people have been able, this group of technologists have been able to domesticate what is obtainable in other climes here in Nigeria. Here we have Tsaigumi. Tsaigumi is set to fly 80 kilograms. It has the maximum altitude of 10,000 feet and also has a cruise speed of 54 knots. It also has the endurance of flying 10 hours non-stop and has a mission radius of 100 kilometers. And also its payload has electro-optical as well as infrared facilities that can function not just in daytime but can also function at night, which is to say there is no limitation to getting access to information while deployed on any mission.
Like I said earlier on, the UVA will be employed in aerial surveillance to check the activities of pipeline vandals and other related crime. Disaster can occur in the air, on land, or on sea, resulting in life-threatening situations. Effects, therefore, need to be mitigated, and where there are survivors, they need to be found and rescued. The capability of the Tsaigumi Unmanned Aerial Vehicle
Well, indeed, Nigeria has joined the League of Aeronautic Manufacturers. Today, from today, we hope to have a real-time report on situations on the field using these UAVs. It is no doubt a major technological feat that should be celebrated beyond this occasion. And as we've heard, it is expected such intellect, such knowledge should be reflective in other areas of research and development, ongoing researches in the nation.
Of the organizing committee for today's event, I want to thank you most sincerely for being part of history. I had been Group Captain Ernest Bassi, the Master of Ceremony, wishing you all a safe trip back to your respective destinations. Thank you and God bless.
Who are ingenious in creative initiative that can compete with the very best in the world, especially in the area of technological advancement. The UAV could also be used to enhance internal security through the provision of real-time information when effectively deployed in crisis-prone areas. However, the Brazilian Air Force has given approval for its equivalent to collaborate with us, especially in the areas of research, ideas, and staff development. All these collaborative efforts are geared towards repositioning the Nigerian Air Force to sustain employment of air power.
And talking about deployment of air power, it was also recently the Nigerian Air Force took delivery of 10 Super Moshak trainer aircrafts to aid training of Nigerian pilots. And these Super Moshak aircraft were manufactured by the Pakistani Aeronautic Complex. There is an ongoing collaboration between the Pakistani government as well as the Nigerian government. So this is one in many efforts at ensuring that the Air Force has got enough resource to deploy air power, to not just protecting the territorial integrity of Nigeria, but also to ensure that every Nigerian, wherever you are safe. And this, I'll tell you, is kudos to, it's a plus to the present regime of President Muhammadu Buhari. It is an exemplary leadership. It is a leadership with commitment that we see every day. And I tell you, Tsaigumi is the beginning of greater things to happen. Okay, on display are the 10 Super Mushak aircrafts procured from the Pakistani Aeronautic Complex. First, we had earlier last year, we had a delivery of 5. Then early this year, we had the delivery of the other 5, making 10 in the fleet. And these aircrafts, no doubt, are going to enhance the capability of training in the Air Force. They are not just trainer aircraft, but they are also light attack aircraft. Surely, can you tell us more about this Super Mushak? What makes it super?
The Super Mushak Advanced Avionics is an upgraded version of Mushak fitted with a more powerful engine, cockpit air conditioning, and electrical instrument. The Super Mushak is a primary trainer aircraft, which is more advanced and upgraded. It is used for training, towing, and other ground support roles, fully aerobatic from the Pakistan Aeronautical Complex. This Super Mushak trainer aircraft will boost Nigerian Air Force capabilities by training our pilots in full spectrum of military flight training. That's a boost for the Nigerian Air Force. Benny, what do you think?
Well, no doubt, as a trainer and Super Mushak light attack aircraft, it has increased capability of the Air Force. It can fly all manner of maneuvers and all of that. It is actually a plus. Well, at this juncture, this is the much we can take from here. I would like to say on behalf of the production crew, it's been a wonderful time here at the Air Force Base, and this celebration of this great technology will be celebrated beyond this event. At this point, we'll hand you over to the network service of the NTA for the continuation of our programs.